in for the sack. And that is the third sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center.
Well, Charles, you mentioned Coach was a 21st-round draft pick back in 1958. It was the Philadelphia Eagles who selected him. But unfortunately for John, knee problems.
Touchdown! Randy Moss, a 7-yard touchdown grab. And the NFC has taken the early lead. Extra point by Anderson, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it's finished off by an NFC touchdown. Following the touchdown, here's Anderson to kick it away. Taken from about the 12. He takes this near the 25, just a little past there, call it the 26. But the AFC making their way out, and it's one of Coach's favorites, another local guy, Tom Brady, who will be at the controls. And boy, Coach always admired the way number 12 could run an offense, and especially his ability to stay calm under pressure.
Tom Brady is a guy who's always looking downfield. He never looks at the rush. He hangs in the pocket, and he makes a throw. He's a cool guy. He's a tough guy. Let me tell you, there's no one calmer in the pocket than Tom Brady.
And I know that Coach has a great appreciation for Tom Brady. He turned 45 back on August 3rd because Coach coached a guy like him in George Blanda, who played a long time in the NFL. In this game, it features legends and active players. Tom Brady qualifies as both.
Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. To throw, it's Mahomes. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Credit the great Michael Strahan with a sack. One quarter in the books at the Coliseum. What a day. The NFC Stars with the early lead in the John Madden Legacy game on EA Sports. Gonna need better protection here. 3rd and long following the sack from Mahomes and company. Back to throw. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Michael Strahan drops him again for the 2nd straight play, and it brings up 4th down.
These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles. And that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball in his hands a lot quicker.
They go for it on 4th and goal, but that winds up incomplete. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And now, boy, the ball's going to go over on downs here inside the 10-yard line. So with their backs practically backed up against the goal line, just why did they do that?
I'm taking it from the other perspective because I have zero answer about why. How about if you're on defense and you realize they're going for it in this situation? That's just blatant disrespect for your team. And you're almost incredulous. You're like, what are they planning on doing here? What kind of crazy play should we expect to see? But there's no way they should pick that up here, and they didn't.
And now incredible field position. Touchdown! Randy Moss. this first half. And the NFC is in for 6. Now to try to add the extra point, the lefty Anderson. And this is no good. Missed the PAT, so they fail to connect, and this remains a 13-0 game. Following the touchdown, here's Anderson to kick it away. A fairly short kick from the 14. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape up past the 30. The AFC offense heading back out. You know, Charles, Coach really loved to utilize his tight ends in the passing game. You think about Dave Casper, Hall of Famer for those great Raider teams. And I think he saw a lot of Dave Casper in an all-Madden staple, Tony Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez is the type of tight end I think everyone's looking for. He's a guy that can make some big plays from that tight end position. Let me tell you, you better make sure you have him accounted for on every play.
And that's exactly right, because Dave Casper, he could shred defenses down the middle of the field. And that's exactly what Tony Gonzalez did in his entire career. A 14-time Pro Bowl selection. Only Tom Brady has more. There's 6 guys in the 15,000-yard receiving club. He's the only tight end in there. Tony Gonzalez, every snap you had to know where he was because he could make plays short, medium, and long, and often put the ball in the end zone.
30-yard line, 2nd and 12. Now a carry for Allen. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. 2 yards the loss there. Now 3rd and 14.
I think we got to give it up for him right there. That's a heck of an athletic move for a big man right in the middle of the line. How about the play he makes there? Nowhere to run, and he finishes that one off for a loss.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Well, he still brings it in off the tip here on the deep shot. Able to convert on 3rd and 14. A terrific play call. But Charles, you know, it was in the early 1960s that a young John Madden made the acquaintance of the owner of the Oakland Raiders, one Al Davis, of course. And the two, they really bonded, would become one of the best owner-coach duos in NFL history. And to take it a step further, Al Davis became someone who John referred to as his best friend.
Yeah, 1967, Brandon. Al Davis hired Coach Madden to be a linebackers coach. Remember, this was still the AFL at that point. They had not merged totally with the NFL. And Coach Madden, he paid dividends almost immediately. Helped the Raiders win the AFL title in 1968. And that meant a date with the Green Bay Packers in what was now known as Super Bowl II. But by 1969, at the age of 32, just 32, Brandon, John Madden assumed the mantle of head coach of the Oakland Raiders. And what a ride he, the Raiders, and the NFL were about to go on.
43!
Mahomes now on 1st down. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Charles, you talked about John Madden and the Raiders going on a ride. Well, try these numbers on for size. In 10 seasons as a head coach, the Raiders won their division 7 times. They finished 2nd the other 3 times, and he became the youngest coach to amass 100 career regular season victories and is still, to this day, the franchise leader in wins.
And when you think about it, that's where that rivalry with Kansas City really took root, as did the expression commitment to excellence. And boy, was it personified by the players who played for Coach Madden. On offense, how about quarterback Kenny Stabler, wide receiver Cliff Branch, wide receiver Fred Biletnikoff, tight end Dave Casper, to name a few. How about those great linemen he had? Center Jim Otto, guard Gene Upshaw, tackle Art Shell, all of them in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And guys on the defensive side of the ball, the Mad Stork himself, Ted Hendricks, Willie Brown, John Matuzak, Otis Sistrunk, and Big Ben Davidson. So many great players, so many great memories.
Now play number 7 of the drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 10. Mahomes to throw once more. And that will be incomplete as well. The coverage good that time by the NFC defense brings up 4th down.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up 4th down.
That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short, no good, and the deficit will hold pat at 13.
And anytime you see a kicker trot out to try one from 56 yards, you know everything's got to come off perfectly for it to have a chance. If the laces aren't quite right, if he doesn't hit the fat part of the ball just right, it's unlikely to go through. And that one winds up no good.
Ready to begin their next drive here, the NFC offense. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Javon Curse able to get in there yet again. That's already 3 sacks for him here in this first half of football.
So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long. Another run here with Sanders. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively, and it likely forces a punt situation on 4th.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. The offense for the AFC set to go now. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it. They gave it a shot with the deep pass, but it wasn't going to work there, and now there's less time for them to try and get 3 before the half. Let's see what they dial up on this next snap.
On 2nd and 10, Mahomes. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go.
Well, the incompletions on... It certainly seems like a reflection of what we've seen so far in this game. The defense, quicker to the punch so far. Let's see if they can get something going here on 3rd down.
Final shot before the half for Mahomes. He's going deep for Brown. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Well, coming up in the second half, we'll run through John's post-coaching triumphs. But for now, we present a very special tribute to the man of the hour, narrated by Trey Mosley. Boy, Charles, yeah, that is really well done. Coach was something else, wasn't he?
I'm reminded what Al Davis said when he was inducted coach of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Brandon. He loved the game. He loved his team. He loved the Raiders. He loved this league. And you can see it with everything he does.
No doubt. But it's quite possible, though, that now he would say, hey, enough of that. Let's play some football. And the second half forthcoming from Oakland.
The AFC offense set to take their next drive.
Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively. Virtually nothing in the ground attack either. So certainly something has to change here in quarter 3.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them exactly that because those guys, the stout troops, they've been playing pretty well. They've kept them around in this game. Now they've got some time. The running game struggled in the first half. Opposition knows how to focus on defending the pass here. They've got to re-energize that ground game and maybe open things up for a comeback here in this half.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10.
Now Mahomes. Eluding the pressure right.
That one tipped, and it's incomplete. Good hands there defensively, and second down. So now, Charles, to pick up the story we've been telling, John Madden at 42, he had just completed a 10-year stint as the coach of the Raiders. He wants to step away a bit from the grind of coaching, but he doesn't want to step away from the game of football. So he ends up signing on with CBS in 1979 to try his hand at broadcasting. And much like his coaching career, he was pretty much an instant success.
Partner, he really connected with the people right from the start, and people may not remember he wasn't even on the #1 team in the beginning. He worked his way up. But the same things that made him a great coach made him a great broadcaster. The ability to show the big picture, yet break it down into the details. That's what he did with his teams. That's what he did with the people. That way, he was simple to understand, yet insightful for viewers. And he did with that big personality that he had, one that connected with everyone.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Here's Mahomes to throw. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
So they'll accept that penalty, and that will, of course, move the football up the field.
Automatic first down.
First and 10. Here's Mahomes. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
So for Coach Madden, Charles, by 1981, his broadcasting career is really taking off. He's elevated to the network's #1 booth that calls all the big matchups. And he gets the plum assignment of calling Super Bowl 16, 49ers and Bengals, and he's teamed up with Pat Summerall. And that pairing ultimately would go on to be one of the most influential in sports broadcasting history.
Influential not just in us listening to them. Remember, they went on and called 8 Super Bowls together. But how they put together kind of the template that all of us broadcasters follow now. Sitting down with the head coaches and the quarterbacks and the stars of each team before a ball game to get extra information. And the way that those two paired together, Pat Summerall, short, concise, to the point, and turns it over to Coach Madden to fill in all the big details.
It'll go as a sack, a loss of 3, and in turn, it takes us to a 4th down.
I'd say it's not panic time yet, but let's be honest about it. Empty possession here, not what you're looking for when you're down a couple of scores.
Absolutely not. Trying to start the second half off on the right foot. Unfortunately, going to give the ball up. Mahomes throwing on 4th. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. A surprising move to go for it. Predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And the NFC is going to get the football back in excellent field position. Play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive.
So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
The delay of game backs them up 5, 1st and 15.
Now Favre.
That'll be caught by Rice.
As you mentioned, CD, talking about John Madden, the broadcaster, he called 8 Super Bowls with Pat Summerall, 3 more with Al Michaels later in his career. He spent nearly 3 decades in the booth all told. And not only was he beloved for his mannerisms, we know that, but he was an innovator as well.
Yeah, Brandon, you're talking about things like the telestrator, which totally became identified with him, and now it's a staple for all.
And that's going to be caught. Touchdown NFC. Randy Moss, 30 yards. And the NFC is in for 6.
So remember now, this was all set up by the stop defensively on 4th down. That's what got him this great field position. And then 2 plays later, they're already in the end zone.
Yeah, partner, funny how it works like that, huh? That's a momentum swing amusement park style. Your defense comes off the field, bouncing, grooving, they're fired up, and it carries over to the other side of the ball.
They'll try and throw for it. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete. Popular down near the goal line. Quick slant. Nice job there to get in, knock it away.
It was, and one of the other things you're concerned about when you throw that route is to make sure your offensive linemen use their leverage to get the hands of the defensive front down so you can throw it through that little bit of crowd and get it to the receiver. In this event, they did, but a nice play by the defender knocking it away.
Following the touchdown, here's Anderson to kick it away. And they're going to mark that where it went out of bounds, so really good starting field position up past the 40-yard line.
Well, not one you see often there as he fails to keep it between the sidelines, and that is a penalty every time and going to give this offense better field position.
And it's every kickoff guy's nightmare, isn't it? Because you don't see yourself doing this, and most of the time you don't. It's absolutely a mishit, and now your team pays the price. Bad field position for your defense.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Now, CD, we did get a little ahead of ourselves talking about John Madden, the broadcaster in the 90s and 2000s, because there was another product during that time period that he became quite famous for, and it's something that you and I know a little bit about, and that's the video game that bears his name. Originally John Madden Football when it was first released back in the late 1980s, and now known the world over simply as Madden.
And Coach saw this originally as a way to teach the game of football. The early designs were for a 7-on-7 game, but he said no chance. He would not sign off on it. He wanted to be as realistic as possible. He told them, call me when it's 11-on-11. And he got his wish.
Yeah, after that debut, Madden, the video game, continued to pick up steam through the 90s in a big way. And John himself, many will remember, was a commentator for the series for many years. And now here we are in the 2020s, and this game has sold somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 million copies.
And this one drops incomplete, but I think the defense jumped. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
Now they'll try to take advantage of that offsides call. Here's 1st and 5. They fake the give. Now Mahomes going for it all. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
So, CD, you look at the accumulation of John Madden's achievements in the world of football, the coaching success, the Super Bowl title, the incredible career as a broadcaster with 12 Emmy Awards, Madden, the video game. It was very fitting back in 2006 that John Madden got the call to be enshrined into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
A more deserving person you will not find. He gave an incredible speech on that day, Brandon. So many of his former Raider players were in attendance. He talked about how he envisioned that when the last person turns off the lights in the hall every night, that the bus talk football amongst themselves. And what a discussion that might be.
Yeah, he finished his speech by saying, today feels like the second time in my life that I'm being carried off on the shoulders of others. Yet instead of off the field, it's into the Hall of Fame. This has been the sweetest ride of them all.
Delay of game, offense.
That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit.
Still second down.
So the delay of game penalty moves it back 5. That makes it 2nd and 10. Again, they'll throw with Mahomes. That ball is caught. It's Andre Reed. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. Give him 32 on the play.
First and goal at the 2-yard line.
So through 3 quarters of the John Madden. Back now here on EA Sports. It's the NFC with the lead and the football as well as we start quarter number 4. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Mahomes going to throw to the goal line, but it's incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Second and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. Mahomes now to throw. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. Give the sack to Lawrence Taylor.
Remember, throughout my career here, defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed.
Once again, we got to get it done as a group.
This defense has not surrendered a touchdown yet. You better believe they're determined not to here on 3rd and goal. Throwing now is Mahomes. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And down inside the 10 here before he's out of bounds right around the 7. A 4-yard pickup, not enough. 4th down. Did they maybe play that too safely on 3rd down? I know you don't want to just throw a ball blindly downfield, but that didn't help them a whole lot.
I think they probably said if it's open, take the shot. If not, get something safe because we do have 4th down to try and pick it up.
Now Mahomes got to have this one. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with the football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. He couldn't get the ball away on 4th and goal. And as a result, possession switches hands. So they finally get their first trip to the red zone, and it ends with nothing.
And that's what I'm going to focus on with you, because you teed it up really well. Finally get to the red zone. So there's got to be a little bit of frustration because they haven't moved the ball as well as they wanted to all game. Now they get there, but we got to go for it because we don't know if we can get back here again. We don't know how many opportunities because they've been sputtering a little bit.
Absolutely. At this stage in the second half, to get there and not get it for the first time, tough. Give them 12 yards on that one, and they're